Before we get into today's Ohio State football news, make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and join the channel so you never miss updates on Buckeye football, recruiting, NFL draft news, and everything happening in Columbus. If you're a true Buckeye fan, this is the place to be. Now let's get into it. Ohio State football just got some important NFL draft-related news, and this one is about opportunity, timing, and a chance to change a career forever. An Ohio State offensive lineman has officially accepted an invitation to play in one of the most important pre-draft events in football, the Senior Bowl, and this could be the moment that completely reshapes his future. The player we're talking about is Ethan Onyenwa, and his story is a lot more interesting than you might realize. Ethan Onyenwa accepts Senior Bowl invite. Ethan Onyenwa, a transfer offensive lineman who joined Ohio State from Rice, has accepted an invitation to the Panini Senior Bowl, one of the premier showcase events for outgoing college seniors trying to make the jump to the NFL. The Senior Bowl is more than just a game. It's a week-long audition in front of NFL coaches, scouts, general managers, and decision-makers from all 32 teams. For many players, especially those projected in later rounds, this week can be the difference between being drafted or going undrafted. And for Onyenwa, this moment could not be more important. Why this Senior Bowl matters so much for Onyenwa. If you followed Ohio State closely this season, you probably noticed that Onyenwa never fully got the spotlight many expected after he transferred in. Coming from Rice, he arrived in Columbus hoping to prove he could compete at the highest level of college football, the Big Ten, the college football playoff, the national title stage. But for different reasons, his time on the field was limited, and that meant NFL scouts didn't get many chances to see him in real action against elite competition. Now, he's out of eligibility, which means this is it. No coming back, no extra season, no second chance at college football. That's what makes the Senior Bowl such a huge deal. This is his last big stage before the NFL draft in April. Late round projection, for now. Right now, most draft projections have Ethan Onyenwa listed as a late round pick or potential undrafted free agent. That's not an insult. It's just the reality of the situation when a player doesn't get a lot of game tape at a powerhouse program like Ohio State. But here's the thing, NFL teams love Senior Bowl risers. Every year, players show up, dominate practice reps, win one-on-one battles, and suddenly their name starts popping up in draft meetings. Scouts talk, word spreads, stock rises. And for offensive linemen, this event is pure gold because the practice sessions are more important than the game itself. That's where Onyenwa can shine. What NFL scouts will be watching. At the Senior Bowl, Ethan Onyenwa will get the chance to go head-to-head with some of the best defensive linemen in the country, players who are already projected as early draft picks. Scouts will be watching his footwork, his hand placement, his strength at the point of attack, his balance, his ability to recover, his football IQ, and most importantly, they'll be watching how he competes. Does he finish blocks? Does he adjust when he gets beaten? Does he learn from coaching? These are things NFL teams value just as much as raw talent. Ohio State will have multiple players in the Senior Bowl. Ethan Onyenwa won't be alone. Ohio State now has two players heading to the Senior Bowl, joining cornerback Davison Igbinosun, who accepted his invite earlier this month. That's huge for the Buckeyes, because it shows once again that Ohio State continues to develop NFL-ready talent, even in years when players may not get the full spotlight during the season. And for Onyenwa, sharing that stage with another Buckeye adds to the credibility. NFL teams trust Ohio State's development. That matters. The Terry McLaurin example. Why this matters. If you want proof that the Senior Bowl can change everything, just look at Terry McLaurin. Back when McLaurin was coming out of Ohio State, he wasn't viewed as a star. He wasn't projected to be a top pick. He wasn't getting national hype. Then he showed up to the Senior Bowl. He dominated practices. He impressed coaches. He flew up draft boards. And now, he's one of the most reliable wide receivers in the NFL and a cornerstone of the Washington Commanders. That's the power of this week. And that's why Ethan Onyenwa's invitation matters so much. A mental test as much as a physical one. One thing fans don't always realize is that the Senior Bowl is also a mental evaluation. Players have to learn new playbooks. They have to work with new coaches. They have to communicate with teammates they've never met. They have to adjust quickly. NFL teams want to see how fast players can process information, especially offensive linemen, who must understand protections and assignments instantly. If Onyenwa shows he can handle that environment, his stock will rise. Period. A chance to rewrite the narrative. Right now, the narrative around Ethan Onyenwa is simple. Transfer lineman who didn't play much at Ohio State. But that narrative can change in 1 week. A strong showing in practices. Solid reps in the game. Positive feedback from coaches. And suddenly the story becomes high upside lineman who just needed the right stage. That's how careers are born. Final thoughts for Buckeye fans. As Ohio State fans, this is one of those moments where you root hard for a guy who didn't always get the spotlight but put in the work anyway. Ethan Onyenwa bet on himself by transferring to Ohio State. Now he's betting on himself again by stepping onto the Senior Bowl stage. Whether he gets drafted or signs as a free agent, this week could change his life, and that's what makes college football and the NFL journey so special. We'll be tracking how he performs, how Davison Igbinison performs, and how all the Buckeyes represent in these all-star events leading up to the NFL draft. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss daily Ohio State football updates, NFL draft coverage, recruiting news, and Buckeye breakdowns. Drop a like if you're rooting for Ethan Onyenwa. Comment, OH, if you're riding with the Buckeyes as always.